Hey there guys and gals, it's me nirex and welcome back to Beginner C++ Programming. So in the last video we talked about while and do-while loops, where we needed an iterator to iterate through things and do stuff. Now let's talk about the for loop, okay? This will be the conditional number 5 for loop. It's, again, this guy is, also let me just fix that guy up because, yeah, there we go. There we go. Good guy, good guy. So, kind of conditional, again, this is like really kind of conditional. Like it's really kind of the same, one word. It's not real conditional, but again, all loops, require conditions. So yeah, and this is really not kind of a Boolean operation, but not really. So it has a bit of a, somehow different structure. It's not entirely like a while or a switch. I'm sorry, switch, a while or a do-while. It's a different kind of a thing. Now there is another kind of loop which is called a range-based for, or range-based for, I don't know. But for the sake of completeness, I just say that it's there. I'm not going to explain to you what it is just yet. It's something they added, I think, in C++ 11 or C++ 15. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. It's a new thing. It wasn't present in the old days, but we're not going to talk about what this is. I mean, not just yet, not in this video. I'm just saying it so that you guys will not be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the for range-based for is. No, I know. I'm just not going to tell it just yet. So, again, we write it just as we read it. For, and that's it. We open and close parentheses, and that's it. But what's kind of different about for is what we put here. Okay, so the only point that you need to take care of, you need to be careful about when writing for loops, is what you put here. Let me just make it easy for you. So, a shortcut way, just put 2 semicolons. This is the exact equivalent of writing a while true loop. This is an infinite loop, so is this. They both will happen forever. But this doesn't quite make any sense just yet. Well, let's make sense of it. So in the first section, let's separate this to 3 sections. Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3. Okay? So in the first section, we usually declare a variable that is going to be used and changed. Usually we do this, but we could also do something like this. Int I, and then just put I equals 0, but it's stupid, so we declare our iterator variable. Remember when while we did something like this, iterator, less than 10, do whatever. So iterator int iterator, something like that. So this guy right here where we work on this part is the exact section 1. This is this part. Section 2 is this guy right here, which we should say iterator, or I'm sorry, I less than 10. So for as long as this condition in section number 2 holds, this is right here, this guy will happen. Section number 3 will be where we add 1 value or 2 values or whatever we want to iterators. So I plus plus is usually what we use here. Let me just fix that. So int I equals 0, this part. Semicolon. I less than 10. There we go. I plus plus. So we have an integer called I, which is right now 0, for as long as I is less than 10, do this part and add 1 to it. Now you can also do something like this, plus equals 2. So I plus plus. And this is basically what for loop sums up to. There's nothing special in it, there's nothing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's as hard as it gets. There's nothing special to it. Now there's also a kind of a nested for loop. Now, easier way to write a for loop is just to type for and tab. For tab will just auto-generate this kind of guy, this code snippet for you. So you can just do what you want. Now this guy is obviously a size C, which should be an int. This guy will be J because we have I here, so we need another thing. Length will be something like another 10. So this guy is nested in this guy. So for each time that this will happen, so if this guy happens for once, this guy will happen for 10 times. If this guy happens 2 times, this guy will happen 20 times. Okay? So nested for loop, this will happen 10 times 10 times. 10 times 10 times. So this guy times this guy will be the number of times this guy will happen. Whatever code we write here will iterate through and loop through it. Now the thing that we can do here is that we can actually use I in this thing. So if I was to say, I want to do the solution for the last thing, I can do int sum equals 0, and then I can do sum plus equals I, and print sum. Print, Jesus. Std sum std out. It's not Python, baby. It's C++. Everything is hard. Okay, we don't have no babysitting. Print. It's hard. Okay, we can't do this. And you can write a method to do that, of course, but we don't do that. We do it here this way. So if I do that, obviously 1 to 10 will be right there. Now let's say we want 100, and see that. 1495. Now the reason to that is obviously it's 99. If I do it like that, it will be our famous and lovely and beloved 50/50. And that's it. So nothing special, nothing too hard, nothing nothing too hard to understand. The only point to know that the only point to take care for is that everything happens. Let me just close that. Then this guy will happen. So everything here will happen. Every little line of code you write here will execute. Then iterator, or your iterator, will be evaluated to the next value. You can also do plus equals 2. Okay, so you can do 2 times, and you'll get a different number because you're not adding half the numbers. You're just adding half of the other numbers. And that's basically it. So for this one, for this this video, I think I've already done it, but let's do it again for the sake of simplicity. For the homework, what I want you to do is calculate the sum of every odd number from 1 or 0 to 100. Okay. So this is basically what I want you to do. Every every odd number from 1 to 100. Calculate that with a 4 and then print it. Well, let's say print the calculated sum using 4. And that's basically it. You don't even need to use nested fors. You don't even need to do anything. It's just like that. Quite simple, quite easy, nothing to be scared of. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, maybe even leave a comment if you have any ideas or questions, whatever. If you really enjoyed it, do subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for watching the video, and see you in the next one.